Welcome back. Senator John McCain, the author, he's written so many books over the years, several, and we've got some of them here.
Yeah, that's his most recent one.
The Restless Wave. And I actually was just reading the forward in here, and he had written, I don't know how much longer I'll be here. Maybe I'll have another 5 years. Maybe with the advances in oncology, they'll find new treatments for my cancer that will extend my life. Maybe I'll be gone before you read this. My predicament is, well, rather unpredictable, but I'm prepared for either contingency, or at least I'm getting prepared. I have some things I'd like to take care of first, some work that needs finishing, and some people I need to see. And I want to talk to my fellow Americans a little more, if I may.
Yeah, his books are amazing.
And in here he talks about the day after the election that, of course, he had lost, and he recalled that sunny and warm morning. Cindy and I walked the 2 blocks from our building to the nearest Starbucks. We stood in line with other early risers and made our purchases. That morning in Phoenix, we were left entirely to ourselves, just another couple in need of their morning coffee, which made for a welcome change.
And that was the one at 24th Street in Camelback, right down the street from his office. Mark Salter, his co-author of these books too, did an amazing job and told quite the story. So this morning, of course, we're covering more of this. Tom Fergus at Changing Hands Bookstore with more on the books he authored. Hey, Tom.
Yeah, good morning, you guys. You know, Mark Salter is the guy that Senator McCain was hoping would write his story, because he'd been with him for 20 years writing all these books. He actually wrote 7 books, and the most current one is obviously The Restless Wave, which started out at #1 back in May when it came out on the New York bestsellers. But he started out with a couple of memoirs. Faith of My Fathers was one that went up to 1972, and then Worth the Fighting For, where he continued his story. But he also wrote, after that, he kind of wrote some books mostly about people that were courageous, Why Courage Matters, Character is Destiny, Hard Call. And he also had one that was called 13 Soldiers. You know, he was he just loved history. He studied history quite a bit. And then eventually he ended up with The Restless Wave. But here at Changing Hands Bookstore on, we're at 3rd Avenue in Camelback, they have this beautiful book that is a coffee table book. And as you glance through it, it's just the neatest stuff. I mean, there's just so many, let me just kind of show you guys, so many great shots of him throughout his career. You know, he's photographed in so many spots, and some of them are just kind of cool, like this one here. You know, I mean, he's just doing his job. Every day he'd head off to work and do his job. And the one thing about Senator McCain was it seems like he always had time for you. You know, I remember whenever I was covering him, he always took time to just visit with us. But I like this book as well. Here's another one that wasn't written by him. You know, there's a lot of books that were not written about him or by him. It was written about him. But I love this. Inside this book, there's some quotes. I like this one. With hard work, strong faith, and a little courage, great things are always within our reach. But, you know, Senator McCain had a great sense of humor. There's another one in there that says, I've had so many people say such nice things about me recently that I think some of you must have me confused with someone else. He said that on the Senate floor. But yeah, he wrote 7 books, which is remarkable. But you know, the one thing I remember about Senator McCain is I remember John Hook and I went over to his office to interview him, and as soon as we were done, he said, hey fellas, I have some time, you know, sit down, put your gear down. So I put my camera down, and me and John sat down and shot the breeze with him on the couch, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, I get to ask a U.S. Senator anything I want, you know. So of course, right away I said, well, what was it like hosting Saturday Night Live? So we started talking about that.
That's a good question.
Yeah, but you know, just a good guy. I just always felt like he was never in a rush. He always had a minute for me. You know, he always had time to talk to me and say hello to me and visit with me. He was a true gentleman.
Absolutely.
I like that memory.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that with us, Tom.
Yeah, great books out there. Thank you, Tom.